What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Tilted Barn Brewery, and they're out of Exeter, Rhode Island, and this is their Cactus. So they're calling this one a Double IPA that comes in at 7.8% alcohol by volume, 70 IBUs at the time of review. This can is just under 2 months old. So we just got a small drop of Tilted Barn stuff here in the Buffalo, New York area. 3 different offerings, I believe, showed up from them, and this one caught my eye the most. Now, it says on the side here, Cactus is one of our core double IPAs here at Tilted Barn. Bursting with tropical fruit flavors and aromas and with an extremely soft mouthfeel, Cactus is a surprisingly subtle 7.8% ABV. They also have a little spiel here about their brewery. It says, located in our authentic New England-style post and beam barn, we are proud to be Rhode Island's first farm brewery. A visit to Tilted Barn allows you to sit back and relax while off the beaten path and enjoy the fruits of our labor. Our small batch handcrafted ales are best enjoyed fresh, so be sure to make the trek early and often for a true farm to pint experience. Now, we'll talk about that in a second, but I never thought we'd see Tilted Barn here in the West New York area. I've heard numerous good things about the brewery over the past 6 or 7 years. First time I heard about them was probably like 2000, I would say 16, 17, probably somewhere in that range. And yeah, they showed up and I'm going to review their stuff. Now, they talk about, fresh beer. The funny thing about this is their beers here in Buffalo showed up about 6 weeks old, fresh. Now, you guys know if you watch the reviews that I'll review a 3-month-old IPA, whatever, right? Not a big deal. But I expect bigger breweries to show up a little bit older, like your Stones. For a long time, their stuff wouldn't show up fresh. It's gotten better. Sierra Nevada, Bell's, breweries like that. A small brewery like this, I thought would show up relatively fresh, but it is what it is. This is just under 2 months old, so we're going to make do what we got. And it's not like just under 2 months old is like old, but when you're trying out a beer for the first time, I like to go no older than like 6 weeks typically, but got to do what you got to do, and we're reviewing this one at almost 2 months old, and hopefully it's held up well. The place I went to, it was kept cold, so hopefully that allows it to keep fresher a bit longer. So anyway, I have no idea what kind of, that was that little cheat there, delicious. I don't know what hops are in here or anything, but yeah, that has that very turbid, milky, kind of dark orange color. Doesn't look quite oxidized, but definitely a little bit darker than I'm accustomed to. Some of the old school other half double IPA is kind of in that realm. Murky, turbid. Has just over a finger of an off-white, super creamy looking head. That looks like a New England style double IPA for sure. Let's get a nose. Yeah, that's they say tropical fruit, explosive off the nose. Tons of mango and pineapple. A little bit of like a guava. And then big zesty citrus, orange, grapefruit, dare I say tangello. So a little bit of an underlying like bready, malty thing going on. It's not too big. Might be a little bit of the age. Might just be how the beer should be. But yeah, very juicy. Like that. I just went back there with like freshly squeezed orange juice, grapefruit juice, maybe even like a pineapple juice or a crushed pineapple. It's not crazy sweet, but it definitely has sweeter, juicier kind of vibes to it. So a little bit of this like herbaceous, grassy kind of hop character as well. Wow. Honestly, almost 2 months old, smells super fresh. So let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. That's really, really good. Oh, wow, this is very, very dry. So first things first, body and mouthfeel. Mine's like higher side of medium, lower side of full. 7.8%. This is thicker. This reminds me of a lot of the 7.5% double IPAs that Hop Butcher's putting out. A little bit more substance and to the body. It's not necessarily thick, but it just has a little bit more oomph to the body. And the mouthfeel, yeah, it's smooth, it's soft, it's somewhat creamy. It's really nice. Carbonation is like mild to moderate, smack dab in the middle. So body, awesome. Mouthfeel, right behind it. The taste, maybe not as juicy and explosive as the nose, but it's really good. Right up front, it's orange, it's grapefruit, it's tangello, it's zesty, it's rindy. There's a little bit of juice character. Then right after I get a little bit of like a bready malt thing, dives underneath the palate. It's not too substantial, so I don't think it's the age. I think it might just be the beer itself. And as it passes through, I'm getting sweeter mango, like an over-ripened mango, crushed pineapple. It's not too sweet though. It's not candied, but it's over-ripened. And then about 2/3 of the way through the palate, it dries out into this grassy, herbaceous kind of just full-on dry finish. This is mildly bitter, but it is super dry. So this is not too sweet of a double IPA. Shout out to Sun Pump. We've gotten a lot of rain here. We had a lot of snow, so that thing has been working overtime. Really well balanced. This might actually lean maybe a little bit too dry for most. I'm not a huge fan of dry beers, but I think this really is like the unsung hero of the beer, because otherwise I think it would be too juicy, too fruity, too sweet, and not enough of something else to kind of break up the monotony of all that sweetness. So this balances out very nicely. This is really, really good. Like almost 2 months old. This is delicious. Yeah, I mean, so, you know, that like 1 minute, 1.5 minute rant that I had, beginning this about freshness. Like I said, you come to my channel, you know I'm not somebody that's like, oh, if this isn't, you know, it's just 3 days old, it's trash. Listen, we all want fresh beer. Sometimes it's not possible. And sometimes beers like this, especially nowadays with the hop burn, which I know a lot of you out there enjoy, I don't personally like crazy hop burn. So a lot of these beers at 4, 5, 6 weeks old are sometimes just too fresh. There's just too much with the dry hopping and triple dry hopping and double dry hopping and everything. It's sometimes just too much, and a couple months lets it mellow out. I don't know if that's the case with this beer, but I think this beer is at a great drinking state for what I want out of a 7.8% double IPA. Speaking of which, 7.8%, can't tell. There's no warmer in the chest, nothing on palate. This drinks like an extremely well-made Hop Butcher double IPA. That's what I'm getting out of this. It has its own kind of, I'm getting like this slightly acidic, like orange vibe, like it might be coming from the water treatment, the yeast, whatever. So it reminds me of like Old Nation, like M43 and Boss Tweed. They have that kind of feeling in a lot of EQ beers. This is really good. So I'm not going to dock at any points for the freshness. Can't do anything about that. But I will say this. If you just got a little small drop of Tilted Barn stuff in your area and you see this and it's a couple months old, pick it up because this is drinking extremely well. So Cactus from Tilted Barn, absolutely no issues whatsoever. Giving this beer right here a low 4.5 out of 5. I'm going to go 4.4 out of 5. This is my first experience with this brewery, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's a great experience. And yeah, really happy about it. So price point, single cans were $5.99 in my neck of the woods. I think they're $22 a 4-pack, a bit steep for something that's 7.8% in a double IPA, but again, this is the first time we've ever seen Tilted Barn, so I'm okay with paying $5.99 for a single can. I might even buy another one or two if the other ones, I didn't look at the freshness, the other ones, like this one just caught my eye, I was like, I'm grabbing it. But, and the thing is those other ones might have been fresher, but somebody out, I think one of them was like Milo Phoenix or something. I do know one of my Untappd friends mentioned that like it showed up here and it was already 7 weeks old. Again, I don't like to be a stickler for dates. I'm just letting you know if you're in the West New York area and you see these on the shelf, they're not going to be super fresh. But for this beer specifically, don't worry about it. Pick it up and enjoy it. So yeah, $5.99 can, $22 4-pack, a little steep, but you know, we don't see them here often, so I'm gonna splurge, once in a while. And availability, I have no idea with Tilted Barn. I would imagine, Rhode Island at the brewery. I do know Josh over at Last Beer, a good friend of mine, not a fellow beer tuber. He does like weekly Sunday live shows and he hops on a bunch of people's streams, but doesn't do his own reviews. I think he got at least one drop, if not multiple drops, from Tilted Barn in the past like 3 to 4 months. So I know, and he's in Virginia, so I know that this brewery is getting drops outside of Rhode Island for sure. So if you've had this beer before, anything from Tilted Barn, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about them. I also know Tanner over at East Coast Liquor Reviews. He, I don't think, lives too far from the brewery. So I guess if I want fresher Tilted Barn, I could just do a trade with Tanner. Right, Tanner? Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. Like I said, 7.8%, hides extremely well. Just a delicious double IPA. Hopefully you're drinking something as equally as good. Until the next one. Cheers.